Hello, in this video we're going to learn to use a website called Edpuzzle. And Edpuzzle is a place where you can take either videos you've created or those that you find that you think are of educational value, and you can augment them a little bit to make them more useful to you in the classroom. Now, things that you can do is you could take a video and simply put your own audio over the entire video. That would be one possibility. I don't generally find that as useful as some of the other options, but it is a possibility. You can also put in individual audio comments, and this can be great when a video is covering some material maybe that you've discussed or started to discuss, and yet you want to clarify some things along the way that you think may not be crystal clear through the video itself. The third thing that you can do with Edpuzzle is you can insert questions throughout the video to check for student understanding. And finally, you can set Edpuzzle so that students cannot skip around, so that they must watch the video from start to end. And it will track a student whether they've done that, and it will only credit them when they have watched or at least played the entire video. Obviously, we're not sitting there, so if this is something going on at home, it certainly is possible for a student to turn on a video and walk away, but this is giving you a better indication of what may be going on at home. So to start, you go to edpuzzle.com, and don't be fooled by this big Teacher Start Now button. You want to go up to Login. You'll get a choice to choose whether you're a teacher or a student. You're going to pick a teacher, and there's a little link at the bottom to allow you to sign up. And that's where you want to do it. This is a free account. There are some pro functionality that if you or your district decide to pay for, you can get some additional functionality, but the basic functionality is free, and to do so you're just going to complete this screen and click the sign up button. Now, I already have an account, so you can see that I've logged in and I have a single class under the account. So we'll go through the basic functionality. It's fairly simple. In order to start a class, you simply click this Add Class button down here, and then click the check mark when you're done. At that point, it will call your attention to the fact that you need to invite some students, and there are several ways. One is they can establish an account first and then use this code to join your class. The other thing you can do that I find a little more useful or a little easier is to actually copy this address. I'll flip to another browser here. So they are going to just click on a link to get to that address, and when they come in this time, they're going to identify themselves as a student. Now, the nice thing about being a student, they're going to say sign up, is that this email is optional. So yes, they will need to create an account. We don't have to use their actual first name and last name. You certainly should have procedures in place for this in the school to create a username, a first name, and a last name that protects their identity, and then they can click sign up. Now, if you click the search option up at top, you'll see that a lot of things pop up. You have a menu on the left. If you click on YouTube, you're going to see all results from YouTube. There are results from Khan Academy, National Geographic, TED Talks, and some others as well. Also, if your school has signed up for a school membership, so if the school is involved with the pro version, and you go to My School, you would find the videos here. Luckily, you don't have to use either one per se. You can find a URL and simply paste it in this bar to search out a video and create an activity from it. I happen to have this nice TED Talk open and decide that I want to base it on that, so I can simply copy that URL. That's from TED itself. Paste it in there. Okay, and I had to do a little editing on that one. It actually came with some extra stuff, so taking that off This is the video here. So I can simply click it to use it. And it's now in the area where I can create an assignment from it. Now there are several things that I can do. I can simply drag the start and end mark and not use the entire video. So if there's only one short snippet that I want to use, that's fine. I can simply set my start and end. And I will get the shortened version. Now, the second option, and I would click on the audio track to do it, is this is now only going to show me this shortened version. I'm not going to see the full video here. But when I have the shortened version, I could record my own audio over the top of it. Now, that doesn't really make sense in many cases. I would say it only really makes sense if the video is showing you something and perhaps doesn't have any narration. So let me skip to the first option. This is audio notes. So I can let this play for a period of time and then stop it and interject my own thoughts. The video will pause while my thoughts are playing, so I don't have to worry about talking over the narration or the sounds in the video itself. So let me maybe drag this over here and say that this is the spot that I wanted to do it. And then I simply click on it, record my audio, which it's doing now, click stop again, and that audio clip has been added. If I was further into the video, I could click again. Now I'm recording a second time, stop. Fantastic. So I've inserted a couple of audio comments. When this plays back, the video will pause right as it reaches these. You'll hear my audio comments, my narration, and then it will begin again. Now, if you make a mistake, you can remove the last one you entered. So don't skip and add a lot past the point if you feel like you've made a mistake. You just say remove the last node, and they're both gone. So let me put one back in there. This is my comment. And we'll say that that's it. That's all I wanted to do. Now, you can also at any point add a question. So perhaps here I want to stop and ask a question about something that was said earlier. In order to do so, you're going to click the question mark at the top. That will turn this into the green question mark icon, and when I click it, I'll have a few choices. I can either type an open-ended question here, and save that. That's one type of question, and just simply we'll stop and give them a box to complete the question and then click continue. Another option you'll have is a multiple choice question. So in this case, now these are going to be in checkbox form, and you're going to indicate what the correct answer is by having the green check. So let's say choice 1 is correct. That makes choice 2 incorrect. Choice 3 incorrect, and I can continue to add answers as many as I'd like. Choice 4 is incorrect. But it doesn't have to be that way. I could ask a question where choice 1 and 3 are correct, and that's the actual correct answer. When I'm done, I save. They will see this question. And then let's continue on and put one more. And the third type is simply a comment. So this is not going to be a question per se, but a comment that you'd like to make. There you go. When you're done and you're satisfied with everything you've done there, you simply say finish. Now, at this point you can assign it to a class. So I'm going to assign it to my test class. And I can decide whether I want to give it a due date, and I give it a range from when it first becomes available to when it's due. There's a time factor in here I can change also if I want to give them all day. The best I can do is 11:59. And if I check this box, students will not be allowed to skip forward through the video. So you have to think about what your particular purpose is. In a lot of cases, I feel that my students have different experience levels, so for some it's appropriate to skip or to move faster or to maybe look to another source for it. So it's one reason I don't often use this with adult students, but depending on the content, if it was a TED Talk, if it was not technical content, then I might very well. And in order to complete this process, I would simply click Send. If I do click Later, you can see the content is saved here, everything's fine. I would have the option to click on this and edit it. When I click Finish again, I've lost a couple of my settings. I never signed it to this class because I didn't click Send, so I'm going to have to redo a couple of things here. And just basically, it's already assigned to a class, so I'll say Send. Now, when I do that, you'll see that that assignment comes up either under Due Soon, if the deadline is very close, or Upcoming down at the bottom. I can use this to view it as a student, and this is what the student will see. So let me actually try to jump ahead, but you see that I can't. So if I do want to see what a student is going to see, I'm going to have to go in there and play it through until it gets to my audio response and to my questions. So I really am seeing it in the way that they will, which is a good idea sometimes. It makes you appreciate your lesson design and make sure that you have a purpose for why you're doing things. Okay. You can trash the assignment here. That's your option over here. And you can also go back at any time once you're in a class to invite your students, and that's where you can get that link if you're missing that information. So that's the basic functionality of the site. You do have this import from Google Classroom. So I'm not logged in with a Google Apps account right now, but if I was, I could import a roster from there, which is a handy thing. And the other thing that I want to look at is my members. Now, I don't have any members right now, but even if I did, this is where I would come to either, well, connect to a Google Classroom, lock access, so once all my students are in here, maybe I want to lock it so nobody else can join, or to remove the class itself. So you can see I'm clicked on this test class. If I say remove, I remove it, and that has removed the class but not the content I created, because this is available to other classes as well. Okay, I think that does it for Edpuzzle. Very handy tool. You can track whether or not your students are actually watching your videos, and you can put some checks for understanding along the way. So good tool, and going to be part of this week's assignment.